There is a kind of love that arrives loudly in youth, with promises, impulsive decisions, sleepless nights, trembling hands, and the feeling that nothing in the world could ever be stronger. But life is wiser than first love, and fate is often more patient than the human heart. Some people must live through disappointment, loyalty given to the wrong person, marriages built on habit, duty, comfort, or fear of loneliness before they are finally ready to meet the one love that changes everything. Not because they were unlucky before, but because their soul was still growing into itself. These people may marry early, stay too long, forgive too much, or spend decades believing that calmness is the same as happiness. Then one day, after 50, when they no longer expect miracles, everything changes. This love does not arrive like a fairy tale for the naive. It comes like a revelation for the experienced. It finds them after heartbreak has made them more honest, after time has stripped away illusions, after life has taught them the difference between being chosen and being cherished. That is why this love feels so overwhelming. It is not just romance. It is awakening. It is the shocking realization that the heart, even after years of compromise, can still burn brighter than it did at 25. These 6 zodiac signs are especially likely to discover their truest, deepest, most life-altering love after 50. Only then do they understand that real love is not about convenience, appearance, or social approval. It is about peace and passion existing in the same place. It is about finally being seen. And once this love enters their life, it becomes impossible to pretend anymore that they can return to the version of themselves that existed before it. Capricorn. Capricorn is one of the zodiac signs most likely to find real love late, because in the first half of life they are too busy building security to notice what their soul truly needs. They often marry for reliability, shared goals, respectability, or the quiet hope that affection will deepen with time. Sometimes it does, but for Capricorn, true love is rarely their first great chapter. More often, it arrives between 52 and 58, when they have already survived disappointment and stopped trying to control every outcome. They most often meet this person in a place connected with responsibility, turning unexpectedly personal, at work, through a professional circle, during a business trip, at a legal or financial institution, or while solving an important family matter. What begins as respect becomes fascination. Capricorn is stunned by how safe and alive they feel at once. This relationship develops slowly, almost cautiously, because Capricorn fears ruining lives, reputations, and long-established routines. But once they admit what they feel, they become fearless. They start choosing happiness over appearance. Their mature love is steady, loyal, deeply physical, and built not on dreams but on truth. For Capricorn, love after 50 feels like finally coming home to a life they were always meant to live. Virgo. Virgo often spends decades confusing devotion with love. They give, help, fix, tolerate, organize, carry, and endure. They stay where they are needed, even when they are not truly adored. In youth and middle age, Virgo may marry someone sensible, decent, or familiar, yet still feel an invisible emptiness they cannot explain. Their real love tends to come later, most often between 54 and 61, when they are no longer trying to be perfect for someone else. Fate usually brings this person into their life through the most ordinary setting imaginable: a clinic, a wellness center, a volunteer project, a class, a bookstore, a place of daily routine, or even through caring for a relative or rebuilding their own health. Virgo's true love rarely begins with fireworks. It begins with one astonishing feeling: ease. They can breathe around this person. They do not need to perform, prove, or overgive. The relationship develops through conversations, practical care, shared errands, small rituals, and emotional trust that grows stronger every week. Virgo does not rush into divorce or dramatic change because they are haunted by guilt and the fear of hurting others. But once they understand that this connection is not temptation but destiny, they become quietly brave. After 50, Virgo learns that love is not something you earn by exhausting yourself. Real love arrives and says, "You may rest now. I see you." Scorpio. Scorpio may look fearless in love, but in truth they are often terrified of being fully known. They can experience intense romances earlier in life, even several marriages, yet still keep the deepest chambers of their heart locked away. They know passion, attachment, obsession, loyalty, and heartbreak. but true soul-bearing love often reaches them later, when life has humbled them enough to stop hiding behind pride and control. Scorpio most often meets this love between 50 and 57, and the setting is rarely accidental. It may happen during a period of crisis, healing, transformation, inheritance matters, therapy, travel taken after loss, or in a place where they have gone to start over. This is why the connection feels faded from the first moment. It is not simply attraction, it is recognition. Scorpio feels that this person somehow sees both their wounds and their strength without fear. At first, they resist. They may stay in an old relationship out of loyalty, guilt, or fear of destroying what others believe their life should be. But fate becomes relentless. The new bond grows stronger through emotional honesty, magnetic intimacy, and the strange peace Scorpio has searched for their whole life. Once they surrender to it, they stop surviving and begin living. Love after 50 does not soften Scorpio into weakness. It transforms them into their truest, most radiant self, Pisces. Pisces often believes in love long before love becomes real. In youth, they can fall in love with potential, promises, moods, and beautiful illusions. They may marry more than once because each time they sincerely hope they have finally found the person with whom their soul can rest. But Pisces is one of those signs whose deepest love often comes later, when fantasy has burned away and only truth can touch them. Most often, this great turning point happens between 56 and 63. They meet their true love in places where the heart becomes quiet enough to hear itself, near water, while traveling, at a spiritual retreat, during a creative course, at a concert, in a place of prayer, healing, art, or emotional recovery. The meeting feels almost mystical. Pisces senses immediately that this is not an ordinary attraction, but a once-in-a-lifetime recognition. At first, they doubt themselves, because mature love can feel even more frightening than youthful passion. They do not rush to destroy the life they have built. They hesitate, grieve, question, and wait. But this relationship develops with extraordinary tenderness. There are long conversations, gentle confessions, deep emotional understanding, and the intoxicating shock of being loved not for sacrifice, but simply for who they are. After 50, Pisces finally understands that true love is not pain, not longing, not saving someone else. It is mutual warmth. It is peace with a pulse. Taurus. Taurus does not easily abandon the life they have built. That is why real love often reaches them late. In their younger years, Taurus may remain for decades in relationships that seem stable from the outside. They value loyalty, comfort, family structure, shared property, habits, and the slow safety of everyday life. They can genuinely care for a spouse and still never experience the kind of love that awakens the entire soul. Their truest romantic turning point often comes between 51 and 59, usually in a setting rooted in earthly life, through neighbors, family friends, a move, property matters, gardening, food, nature, a celebration, a reunion, or a place they return to regularly without expecting anything extraordinary. Taurus is rarely swept away in a single instant. Their love grows like spring after a long winter. At first, they only notice how calm they feel near this person. Then comes admiration, then attachment, then the terrifying realization that this bond feels more alive than anything they have known before. Taurus resists change for a long time because leaving a familiar life feels like tearing up roots. They may delay divorce, pretend nothing is happening, or hope the feelings will fade. But fate has other plans. The relationship develops through consistency, trust, sensuality, shared pleasures, quiet support, and the unmistakable feeling that life has suddenly become richer in color. For Taurus, love after 50 is not chaos. It is a second blooming. It proves that the heart can open even after years of silence. Aquarius. Aquarius often lives ahead of their own emotions. They can marry for friendship, intellectual connection, freedom, timing, or shared views, yet remain strangely detached from the deepest core of their own heart. They are capable of devotion, but they do not always recognize true love when they are young, because they fear losing themselves inside it. Life must first teach them that freedom without emotional truth becomes loneliness. Their most powerful love frequently arrives between 55 and 64, when they have already reinvented themselves several times and no longer need to perform independence. They most often meet this person in an unexpected environment, online, through social circles, during travel, at a lecture, community event, humanitarian project, creative collaboration, or through something modern and unconventional that completely breaks their old pattern. This is why the connection feels shocking. Aquarius does not expect love to reach them through surprise, but it does. It begins with a conversation that feels electric, then turns into a bond that opens locked parts of the soul. For a long time, Aquarius may try to label it as friendship, timing, coincidence, or emotional confusion. They can remain in an existing marriage longer than they should, not out of passion, but out of duty to a life already built. Yet true love keeps returning, deepening, calling them toward a more honest future. Once Aquarius chooses it, everything changes quickly. They become more expressive, more affectionate, more courageous, and far more emotionally present than anyone thought possible. Love after 50 teaches Aquarius that real intimacy does not imprison the spirit, it liberates it. These 6 zodiac signs discover something unforgettable after 50. Love is not over because youth is over. For them, it begins later because it must arrive when they are finally ready to recognize it. They may have loved before. They may have built families, shared homes, raised children, survived betrayals, and thought they already knew the full map of the heart. But fate keeps one final secret for them. It saves the greatest tenderness, the deepest recognition, and the most life-changing choice for the season when they least expect it. And that is exactly why this love feels so powerful. It does not just bring romance. It gives them back themselves. What makes love after 50 so shocking is not only its intensity, but its honesty. At that age, people no longer fall in love with promises, masks, roles, or beautiful illusions as easily as they did in youth. They fall in love with energy, with peace, with truth, with the rare feeling that someone has arrived not to impress them, but to understand them. That is why the love these 6 zodiac signs meet later in life feels so different from everything that came before. It is not louder, it is deeper. It does not always begin with perfect timing, but it begins with undeniable recognition. And that recognition changes everything. One of the most important observations in this horoscope is that fate often delays the greatest love not as punishment, but as preparation. Some hearts need time to become brave enough for real intimacy. Some souls must first live through wrong marriages, painful lessons, lonely years, compromises, betrayals, and emotional hunger to finally understand what they truly need. These signs do not receive love late because they are unlucky. They receive it later because only maturity teaches them how to value it, protect it, and choose it over comfort, fear, or public opinion. Another truth few people talk about is this: mature love is often stronger than youthful love because it is conscious. It is chosen with open eyes. It appears when a person already knows how fragile life is, how quickly time moves, how empty loveless routine can become. After 50, people no longer dream about endless tomorrows. They begin to treasure one real conversation, one sincere embrace, one peaceful morning beside the right person. That is why such love can feel almost sacred. It is not built on fantasy. It is built on gratitude. And perhaps the most beautiful remark of all is that life does not close the door to miracles just because half of it has already passed. Sometimes the best chapter is delayed on purpose. Sometimes the heart begins to live only when it thought its greatest story was already behind it. These 6 zodiac signs remind us of something unforgettable. It is never too late to meet the person who makes the world brighter, the soul calmer, and every remaining year more meaningful than all the years before.